Hello there, and welcome back to the studio. I feel like it's been a while, but we're back, we're here. And you guys have been asking so much about this desk, about the setup, but in particular what the dimensions are of this. And I thought I could answer this could be a 10-second video, but that would be incredibly boring. So why not actually explain my whole process to choosing a desk if you're going to get a new PC gaming setup, and hopefully give you some advice to make sure you're making the right decisions that aren't going to sort of hit you in the bum at a later date. This desk is actually not a desk. It is made up of 3 different components really, or 4 different components, which are these drawers, which are from IKEA. They're called the Alex. And you've probably seen this time and time again. It is incredibly, well, is it boring? I don't know. I love this sort of stuff, but I feel like I'm meant to say that it's boring, but I actually love it because I'm a big nerd. And I use all of these drawers to keep everything nice and tidy. But that stuff probably is quite boring. The desk itself though is 192 centimeters across and 85 centimeters in depth. And this bit is very important because my process, I've lost my tape measure, and something I highly recommend that you guys do is grab yourself a tape measure and then actually measure all of your room. So the space where you're actually going to be putting this desk, I know it's going to be limited for some of you, but measure up how much space you actually have. So for me, it's 2.5 meters. I then know that I want the desk to take up most of the space, but not all of it, because I wanted this storage section here, you see, so I could actually keep review samples and things. And this is highly appropriate for what I've got here, just because I use an ultra-wide monitor normally, hence why there's this big gap. Got these huge Bowers and Wilkins speakers, and then I actually have my PC on my desk as well. So you can see that this works very nicely for me. The depth of the desk is incredibly important, and I'd highly recommend that you guys get a desk that is at least 80 centimeters deep, especially when some of the high-end ones, they have such huge stands now that they project it right into your face. Honestly, 80 centimeters or higher, highly recommended. I think my old desk actually is called the Beckant. This was a proper desk from IKEA. I'll leave all of this stuff linked down below. And this was in my old setup, and I really liked it. It was a little bit cheaper. Well, it was a lot cheaper than this, but it's probably what I would go for if I was going to buy one again, just for personal use, because it was very cheap and cheerful. It worked, it was stable, all of that good stuff. But what I've actually ordered here is a Worktop top, I guess, from a place called Worktop Express. This one is the walnut, I think, effect wood, or it is actually made up of walnut as well. You can get these legs that will sit underneath the desk if you need more support. So the process should be pretty simple for you. It should be to measure up your room. It should then be to work out what you're going to put on the desk. Main one really being what speakers are you going to have your PC on your desk, and obviously what size of your monitor is going to be. I also like to put things like lamps on my desk. I've got this headphone stand, laptop, another lamp over here. So again, you factor all of these things in. The most important thing really is make sure you get the biggest desk really you can fit in your space. Make sure it's 80 centimeters deep if you can, but ultimately measure up your room and get the right size desk for whatever it is you're going to be using it for. Don't go out and buy your desk first and then start building around it, because I'm telling you, it's a right pain in the bum, especially if you decide to go for dual monitors or something later. I've had desks that are too small. It is a right pain, I promise. Speaking of pains as well, this desk is not quite so good. And I'm sorry, Overclockers UK, who sent this out, but this is causing me a whole load of problems. And it's a prime example of why, if you can get a desk that is a bit more upmarket, shall we say, or at least get one that isn't a bit too cheap and a bit too good to be true, then don't. So this is a sit-stand desk, and the idea is fantastic, right? First thing I noticed when I got this is that you've got this lip here that you can feel. So when you're trying to actually use a mouse, it's not too bad, don't get me wrong, you can cope with it, but you go over it and it's rubbish. Quite why they thought this was a good idea, I don't know. Must be cost-cutting measures. But then the other thing, and I've touched on this a little bit before, but this bit in the middle is gone down, and so the whole desk almost like curves. It's got bow or bowed in the middle, and it is so annoying for filming. So what I'm going to do is actually replace all of this with another top from Worktop Express, probably get a cheaper, thinner one, put it on top. I haven't touched on the chair too much for a while. Anyway, this is a special edition, it's like the black edition, I think it's called, of the Noblechairs Icon. And I do really like Noblechairs, and let me tell you the honest truth, gaming chairs aren't always as good as they seem. People use them because they look cool, and if you're doing a stream or something, then obviously looking cool is fantastic. But if you're going to be sitting in this every day, you want to make sure you get something good. I can say that the Noblechairs that were sent to me for free, I'd like to point that one out, are the best gaming chairs I've used so far. I find this very comfortable, but I can't help but think that something like a Herman Miller, if you've got the money for that, or at least some sort of ergonomic chair, is probably going to be better for your back. But these ones are at least rated for office use, and they are comfortable. So seal of approval for a gaming chair, but point is, you don't necessarily need a gaming chair. Look at some other options. I've finally, after 8 years of YouTube, invested in this little microphone arm so I can get the mic a lot closer to me. This is my camera setup. It's the Blackmagic Pocket 6K. It's huge though. I'm not going to replace this, but the new 8K Canon camera seems very interesting. So I've got Rhino slider, so I'd like to be able to set up a secondary camera on this full time on its own tripod, and then it makes it a lot quicker and easier to actually film shots. The soundproofing and stuff, again, still not completely finished, but you can see there is more of it. There's more boxes and stuff, so the sound dampening is getting better, and I'm trying to make this space a better place to film, I promise. We've got a big package from Philips Hue actually to unbox. Let me go grab it. So I am incredibly upbeat about what's inside this particular box. I say upbeat because I probably use the word excited too much. Maybe I am just high on sugar all the time. I love RGB lighting inside a PC, don't get me wrong. That NZXT case is fantastic because the front of it you can see the fans and airflow, I promise, really isn't as bad as some of you guys are making out. It could be better, but it's got enough, I promise. I will share temperatures of that PC soon. But inside this box we have a selection of things. I don't know what they all are actually. So these are the Philips Hue Plays. So these are the Play light bar base units. So these actually fit behind, well, they go on the desk, but they go like behind your monitor. So you get all of this RGB lighting goes on the wall behind you. We have some light strips, and these are very appropriate for gaming desks. So I'm using these to go not underneath the desk because they tend to fall off, but like around the perimeter, shall we say. So we've got a base unit and a couple of extensions, I believe. Some E14 bulbs for some lamps. And then we also have an E27 bulb as well that will be used in one of the other lamps. So here we go, look. We got a load of cool bits of lighting from Philips Hue. We will install them and they will look very cool. I feel like I'm holding like the Holy Grail or something. It's like, whoa. I'm currently doing an entertainment area, and all you have to do is grab every bulb that you have. So we have an overhead at the moment above me. We've got that lamp to my side. We've got the two Hue bars, the lamps. Everything's all fitted other than the strips because I will have to fiddle with my desk and do that later. We say test area, and then all of the colors you see will start changing around me. Pretty nice, pretty nice. And then there we go, we have an entertainment area created. Now it's come up on the computer that we have an entertainment area, and then this will now actually match what we have on screen around the room. And you can now see that with the wallpaper I've got on the desktop is now being matched with all the different lights around me. And obviously it's a very bright sunny day outside, so we're not getting the full experience. They're not quite as vivid at the moment, but we can change that to intense if we want to do that. We can maximize the brightness, there we go. And you can see it works surprisingly well actually. I mean, I say surprisingly well, I'm not sure why I'm surprised. It just works so well. I sound like Jensen from Nvidia now, but it just works. It's cool, it's weird as well. I've had the backing monitor lights before, but I've never had this many all synced up, and it really does prove the point that I was making at the start of the video, where instead of going for different RGB lights inside your computer, spend the money on room lighting because it makes a much bigger difference. You can clearly tell. But this video anyway was meant to be about my desk, and I suppose it still is, but like a moth to a flame, I've got distracted by loads of pretty lights. This has been a video all about my desk setup. You can see it is evolving quite nicely actually. If you do want to see more behind the scenes, Instagram and Twitter, but mainly Instagram is a great place to go, and I'll be showing all of this stuff off. If you've got any questions about your desk setup, about lighting, anything really, I'm all ears and I would love to help you out. So let me know down in the comment section below if you have any questions or, I don't know, opinions on things like the Philips Hue. Be interested to hear from you. And yeah, get subscribed for more videos. Like the video, it really does help out, you wouldn't believe. Helps to keep the lights on. That's a great one. That, honestly, that's 10 out of 10. That is, I'm proud of that. I'm gonna go and have lunch happy now. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.